I think personalization plays a huge role. For example, if you showed me food for a dog, I don't have a dog. That wouldn't be personalized. It would be a terrible experience. Even if I'm on Amazon, I'm not going to generate sales. I think personalization is huge. Through AI, it now makes it easier because you can create tons of different variations and personalize quicker. But at the same time, if you personalize too much and you get too nitty gritty with the personalization, we find that it doesn't really boost conversions that much more.
So my next question to you is, okay, let's talk about some personal branding. So as an expert in personal branding, what advice would you give to individuals looking to establish a strong personal brand and become influential in their respective industries?
So you're asking, what can someone do to build up their personal brand?
Yes.
It's you got to create a lot of content, whether it's video content, audio content, text based. Chances are you're going to have to do a little bit of all of it. You can repurpose the content. So if you do video based content like this, you can purpose it in audio for a podcast. You can end up uh, putting it out there for images. This would be hard to make images, but you can put it out there as text based content as well and have it repurposed. Image based stuff, you can manually take pictures with your photo, but you're going to participate on all the social sites. You're going to have to get the content out there by networking with others, create amazing content, ask people to like and share, follow other people within your industry, participate on their social channels. So when you participate on theirs, higher chance that they'll participate on yours. You got to go live with other people on these platforms so you can build up your audience, and it also helps them build up their audience. You got to collect an email list and start blasting out when you have amazing content 2-3 times a week. You got to go and speak at events. You pretty much got to do most forms of marketing and do it consistently for 3 to 5 years, sadly. One thing won't get you the results with personal branding these days because everyone's trying to build a brand and everyone's a guru about every topic. So you gotta really go above and beyond and do it consistently because that's where you're gonna win. If you look at most people who've built a brand, they built a brand by doing it consistently for many years. No one's a fly by overnight success. It's extremely rare to see those. And if they are, most of them die down just as quickly as they rose. But the ones who do really well are the ones who consistently create content and educate and help people out, and they've done it for tons of years.
Yeah, and this skill I learned from Gary Vee. I just read a blog post of Gary Vee where he used to describe how you can produce 72 pieces of content in a day by
Yep.
repurposing that content again and again. So that's the skill which, if anyone wants to build their personal brand, then they have to make a omni-channel approach, as you said. Okay,
Exactly.
so yeah. So one more question. Uh, okay, what are some common mistakes or misconceptions that businesses make when it comes to digital marketing, and how can they avoid them?
So common mistakes that people make when it comes to marketing and getting visitors to their website. The big mistake we see when it comes to getting visitors to your website, most people look for a high number instead of getting the most relevant people to your website. It doesn't matter if you have 5 million people coming to your website. If they're not converting, it doesn't matter. What you need is you need the right quality, the right targeted audience and quality traffic. So for example, we started ranking on Google for terms like Discord. Well, none of that traffic converts. It was getting us hundreds of thousands of visitors a month. Who cares? But our ideal customers, people typing in things like digital marketing agency and things like how do you expand your marketing or how do you rank a business globally on Google in different languages? Because those companies are large and they're usually looking for international expansion, right? Those are ideal customers. Those terms don't get as much traffic, but that's okay because that's what's driving a lot of revenue.
Okay, okay, that's so awesome. So one more thing, Neil. Uh, you mentioned the power of omnichannel. Let's talk about omnichannel marketing and its potential to revolutionize the customer experience. Can you elaborate on how businesses can unlock this power and create a seamless omnichannel experience for their customers? Like what key strategies and considerations should they keep in mind?
Yeah, there's actually one main concept that you have to keep in mind to have a cohesive omni-channel approach. That's you got to get the teams who manage different channels to work well with each other. So, for example, if you have someone managing organic social and someone managing SEO and someone managing the paid ads, they need to work together. You need to take the lessons you're learning from SEO and apply them to social, and the lessons you learn from Instagram and apply it to TikTok and Facebook and Twitter, and take the lessons you're learning from organic social and apply it to your paid ads and email marketing and vice versa. If you're if the people who are working on the different channels aren't working together to create a seamless experience, it's not going to work out. Yeah, and when you don't create the seamless experience, you can still be on the channels, but it's more so multi-channel marketing versus omni-channel. Omni-channel is when the channels are working together. Multi-channel is just you're on a lot of different channels, but the experience isn't cohesive and similar, and it just doesn't convert as well when you do multi-channel versus omni-channel.
Okay, okay, got it. So, one more thing, like how do you recommend businesses approach email marketing to maximize their open rates and conversions?
So let's first talk about open rates. The first thing to do is scrub your list. Get rid of the people who don't open up your emails on a regular basis. Because if you keep sending those people emails, it'll cause the emails that you're sending to the people who want to see your emails. It'll cause those emails to go into promotions tab or spam box. So you need to only send emails to people who want them. So scrub your list of unopened every 30 days and start removing those people. The second thing you need to do is focus on text-based email templates. HubSpot did a test where they did HTML-based emails versus text-based, and the HTML ones had over a 20+% less open rate. I believe it was somewhere between 20 and 25% that the stats ended up showing. We see similar things. We get 30+% open rates, but we do that by text-based emails. The next thing that you want to do is don't just sell in your emails, provide value 80 to 90% of the time, and then sell 10% of the time. That's a formula we use, and it's worked really well. You can do a comment if you're e-commerce, you're going to sell more than 10% of the time. It's going to be much higher than that. But generally speaking, for a portion of your emails, you will want to provide value.
Okay, okay, got it. Thanks for insights. So, what role does personalization play in modern marketing, and how can businesses effectively implement it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think personalization plays a huge role. For example, if you showed me food for a dog, I don't have a dog. That wouldn't be personalized. It would be a terrible experience. Even if I'm on Amazon, I'm not going to generate sales. I think personalization is huge. Through AI, it now makes it easier because you can create tons of different variations and personalize quicker. Um, but at the same time, if you personalize too much and you get too nitty gritty with the personalization, we find that it doesn't really boost conversions that much more. So I do think personalization is important, but don't obsess about it because getting too personalized and showing every person something different isn't going to convert that much better. Typically, when you personalize, people are in different segments. You may have 4 or 5, 10 different segments, whatever the number is, and you can put people in those buckets and personalize to those segments versus personalizing to each and every single individual. And that'll be good enough for most businesses.
Okay, okay, nice. One more thing, Neil, like how do you recommend businesses approach influencer marketing to amplify their reach and impact?
Focus on micro influencers. Look for people not just with a large follower account, but look for influencers with a following count in your industry and they have good engagement. Work with those people, have them promote your products, your services. And when they promote it, make sure you also include those influencers on the landing page that they're sending people to, because then it converts much better.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I was asking, looking back at your journey, what are some valuable lessons you have learned as an entrepreneur, and how have they shaped your approach to business and marketing?
The biggest lesson I learned is focus. I tried doing too many things at once. When you double down and just focus, you're going to be better off and you're going to do much better at that one thing versus trying to do too many things. The other thing I learned is you got to go after big TAMs. TAM stands for total addressable market. It's really hard to capture 50% of $1 million market. It's easier to capture uh, 0.01% of $100 billion market. So go after bigger markets. It's easier to just generate income and make money. The other thing that I've learned is it takes a long time to build up a business and penetrate a market. Not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years. It takes 5 to 10 plus years. You need to have a long-term outlook.
Okay, okay, got it. Okay, my audience is around Gen Zs, basically from 18 to 30. So, if someone wants to start their digital marketing agency or want to learn digital marketing, so what do you recommend? Like some basic steps, how to what are the resources and how to start basically?
Sure, and I hate to do this, but after this answer, I have to end up running because I have to take my kids to a play date because today's a holiday here in the US. Nonetheless, if I wanted to learn digital marketing and I was starting off, I would do it by starting my own website, starting my own podcast, and being on social media. Learn by experimenting on your own profiles. Look at what other people in your industry are doing. Try different tactics. Read, learn. You can read blogs like neilpatel.com/blog, and it'll give you ideas on what to do, what not to do, and this will help you get further along. But you need to experiment. Reading isn't enough. You got to actually practice on your own site, and that's the best way to learn.
Okay, okay. So as we have time crunch, let's wrap up. So thank you so much, Neil, for joining me here. It was so wonderful to talk with you, and I love your insights which you shared. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.